Fighting style, so you get a fighting style, which we knew that was going to happen. Channel divinity. How does this work now? You can channel divine energy directly from the outer planes, using that energy to fuel magical effects. Start with 1 divine sense. Wait, divine sense became a channel divinity? Excuse me? Wait. You can use channel divinity twice. You gain 1 expended use. Did it increase? I'm sorry, did I miss that? Yeah, it did. Okay, so same table. It's the same table as for Druid. So I'm assuming Cleric's going to get the same table as well. Okay, so you get back 1 expended use when you finish a short rests. Yeah, okay, and you get back all in a long. As a bonus action, you can open your awareness to detect celestial fiends and undead for the next 10 minutes or until you have incapacitated, you know the location. Okay, okay, yeah. You know the location of any creature of those types within 60 feet of yourself, and you know its creature type. Within the same radius, you also detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated, as with the Hallow spell. Okay, let me... Because they did buff it, I guess. Right, because it used to be until the end of your next turn, and other than that, it was the same. Also, it used to be not behind total cover. Is that still a thing? No, it's just any of them within 60 feet. So cover doesn't matter anymore, and it's 10 minutes now, but it has become... It's also a bonus action rather than an action. And it has become a channel... It's become a channel divinity option. Right? Because I think channel divinities for paladins, there weren't any general channel divinities like that all of them got. I think channel divinity was a 3rd level subclass thing, as in like, yeah, you pretty much got your channel divinity through your subclass. Okay, that's a little funky. Am I opposed to this? Not necessarily. I kind of get it. It like makes it so you don't have to keep track of your resource, like your divine sense resources, but it is, I do feel like it's a very clear nerf. Like the upsides don't really remove the downside. Personally, I think it's still good. It's not also usable in combat, but yeah, okay. So Oath of Devotion. The Oath of Devotion is detailed after the Paladin's class description. Other subclasses will appear in future. Subclass specialization. Yeah, sure, whatever. Okay, so this is still... so we'll look at that later. Then feat, extra attack at 5th level, which we knew. Faithful Steed. You can easily call on the aid of an otherworldly steed. You always have the Find Steed spell prepared, and it doesn't count against the number of spells you can prepare. When you cast a spell, its casting time is an action. You can also cast a spell once without expending a spell slot. You regain the ability to do so when you finish a long rest. So you can just summon a horse. Okay. Seems cool. Aura of Protection. The most broken paladin ability, apart from Divine Smite. You radiate a protective, invisible aura that extends 10 feet of you, but it doesn't extend through total cover. You and your allies in the aura gain a bonus to saving throws equal to your charisma modifier. Minimum bonus of 1. So they pretty much, I think, left this, right? They also added to the fact that you can only benefit from 1 aura at the time. Oh, this did used to be level 6. Aura of Protection used to be level 6. I also am curious if it actually increases to 30 feet at 18. But yeah, so they moved Aura of Protection 1 level down apparently, which I guess, sure. It's a difference, of course, but it's not that bad. Feats, then 9. At your foes. What did Paladin have at this point originally? Just... Oh, Divine Health also got removed. Because Divine Health, the divine magic flowing through you makes you immune to disease. Used to be a thing. Good to know. Then again, I think they're starting to get rid of like disease features and shit like that. I'm thinking Monk is also going to lose that. And the reason that I think that is because disease is something that it just needs to really be redone. Curses and diseases need to be completely reworked in 5th edition. So I'm actually happy that they got rid of that. But other than that, still pretty similar, right? But I think 9 is a new one. So Abjure Foes. As a magic action, you can expend 1 use of your Channel Divinity to overwhelm foes with Divine Awe. As you present your holy symbol or weapon, you can target a number of creatures equal to your Charisma modifier. You can see within 60 feet of yourself. Each creature must make a Wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the target has the Dazed and Frightened conditions for a minute or until it takes damage. On a successful save, the target has the Dazed condition for 1 minute. So it's always dazed, but if it fails, it's frightened. And it's Abjure Foes. And it's any number of creatures. So it's not like just undead or whatever. It's actually anything. That's kind of cool. I'm not going to go to the glossary of this one yet, but I am going to look up what dazed used to be. Because I don't want to scroll through this entire file just to look up what dazed was again. What was dazed? Hold up. Sorry. You can move or take 1 action on your turn, not both. At least that's what it was in the cleric version. Being able to get, like, at this point, what level are we at this point? Sorry, at this point, what level are we? We're level 9. Putting literally, like, slow, to be fair, it only happens until they take damage, right? And it's action, bonus action, can't take reaction, I think it was, right? Yeah. So pretty, it's not that great. Okay, it's not that, like, putting dazed on, like, because Paladin doesn't necessarily max out their charisma first, right? So let's even go worst case scenario, where you have 16 charisma, sorry, right? Your save DC at this point would be 8 plus 4 plus 3, 15. Make a wisdom save. Wisdom is a pretty prevalent save. Which, to be fair, doesn't really mean anything on creatures, but still. But the only thing that you really do is you get rid of their bonus action. And a lot of creatures don't necessarily have a bonus action. So they can just take their action. They still have their movement. They just don't. So the biggest thing that you get rid of is their reaction if they succeed on the save. If they fail, they're frightened, which is still good. But so I don't think this is necessarily like a huge thing, but it is pretty. It's still good that they still take something. Like you can still guarantee, like pretty much you can use this as a sort of disengage, right? Like you can just like be like, okay, I know you're about to get your turn. That fucker is going to try to kill you. I'm going to use my Channel Divinity, put him, or put it, sorry, in a state of like being dazed at least, if they're not frightened. At least my buddy can walk away and do something, right? Because they lost their reaction. So I think that's pretty good. So this seems like a cool little ability, honestly. It just has to fight with Divine Sense, which is the one thing. Subclass, sure. Radiant Strikes. You are so suffused with Divine Might that your weapon strikes carry supernatural power. You hit a target with an attack roll, simpler martial weapon the target takes. So they take an extra 1d8 Radiant. I think that's always been a thing. Wait, hold up. No, it's not. Oh yeah, no, it just used to be called improved divine improved divine smite. But yeah, so this has always been a thing. So that's good. Get your feat. Aura of Courage. You and your allies are immune to a frightened condition while in your aura of protection. And if a frightened ally enters the aura, it is suppressed while it is there. So that's a new one that got added. This is a pretty decent ability, I think. It's very, it's very limited, I guess. If your DM never really uses the frightened condition. It's not a powerful ability. I don't think it's meant to be. 14 subclass. 15 Restoring Touch. When you use your lay on hands on a creature, you can also remove one of the following conditions: blind, charmed, dazed, deafened, frightened, paralyzed, or stunned. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that. It's like a little bit like put a little bit more use into lay on hands. Although lay on hands, I think lay on hands is like a good ability throughout an entire paladin's career, if I'm being perfectly honest. Ability score improvement, sure. 17, your aura of protection now extends 30 feet rather than 10. So that is a thing. It actually even was moved one level up. Whenever you roll initiative, regain 1 use of this class's channel divinity. Sure. Get a feat at 19, and then the ability score and epic boon feat at 20. Okay. So Paladin is mostly untouched. I think the only thing that they really got rid of... Oh, wait, you know what I just realized that they also got rid of? Honestly, that's the thing. They really got rid of Paladin's one-shot potential. Like, your burst damage is... Your burst damage is a lot weaker. Your burst damage on a Paladin is a lot weaker, I would say. I mean, that used to be... I'm not going to say that's the only reason that you used to play Paladin, but it was one of the big reasons, right? That, and you get a little bit of supportive healing. Like, I do remember, like, my first Solasta playthrough where I had a party of 4, my Paladin was, like, just Divine Smite, Divine Smite, Divine Smite, Divine Smite. It was just bad. It was, you know... And honestly, my solo run was a Source It and was just burst damage, right? I'm not gonna say that I'm against this. I'm really not. I don't think this is a bad change for Paladin, but it's very clear that they got rid of it. I personally think what I would like is for them to keep the no more than once during a turn, but I'd like them to get rid of the you can't use it on the same turn that you cast a spell. I think I'd like them to get rid of that. Because I would like to be able to, like, bonus action Wrathful Smite, action Divine Smite, you know? Because that's just a lot of damage. And I think that's one thing that got really hit. And I feel like otherwise this is going to get rid of a lot of utility that Paladins have. Because they don't really get, like, except for, like, their Divine Sense, they don't really have any decent bonus actions, I think. Is that your foe? Oh no, this is an action. So I don't know. I think then again you can dual wields, I guess, but even then. So yeah, I gotta be perfectly honest. I think they need to like roll back on the Divine Smite change a little bit. I get why they did it. Again, it was the biggest broken thing of Paladin, but yeah. Oh well.